Jesus Christ! Mercy!
We're off to blame, in this 'tis too much proved that with devotion's visage and pious action we do sugar o'er the devil himself.
What's that mean?
Spare the rod.
The world of V for Vendetta isn't chaotic. It's controlled. England is ruled by the Northfire Party, an authoritarian regime that came to power after a biological attack devastated the country. The public was terrified, desperate for stability, and the government offered safety. But here's the truth revealed later in the film. They released the virus. They engineered the crisis. Then they blamed the extremist. Then used that fear to centralize power. Surveillance expanded, civil liberties shrank, media became propaganda, and opposition disappeared. And people accepted it, because fear makes control feel reasonable. In our world, we don't live under Northfire, but we do live in a time where trust in institutions are historically low. When powerful elites are connected to crimes and accountability feels incomplete, people notice. When wealth concentrates at the top, while everyday people struggle, people notice. And over time, that builds something. Not revolution, not chaos, distrust. And distrust doesn't explode overnight. It rots over time.
Who are you?
Who is but the form following the function of what, and what I am is a man in a mask.
V isn't a superhero. He's not trying to rule. He's trying to expose. He hijacks the state broadcast system and tells the public.
Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler. He promised you order, he promised you peace, and all he demanded in return was your silent, obedient consent.
That speech is the turning point. He doesn't tell people what to think. He reminds them they already feel it. And that's powerful, because real movements don't start with commands. They start with recognition. The film pulls directly from Shelley's poem, The Mask of Anarchy. V quotes, "Rise like lions after slumber, an unvanquishable number." Shelley wrote that after a massacre of peaceful protesters by the British government in 1819. It wasn't a call to blind violence. It was a call to collective awareness. The line means, you are stronger together than the power above you. And that's what the mask represents. Unity. By the end of the movie, thousands wear it. Not because they want destruction, but because they want accountability. One of the most important reveals in the movie is that the virus wasn't random. It was manufactured. Then a cure was conveniently discovered by a company connected to the ruling party. Fear created power. Power created profit. And profit reinforced power. That's the cycle. And while we don't live in a dystopian comic book, we do live in a world where crisis often benefits the powerful. Where wealth accumulates during instability. Where the gap widens. And people start asking uncomfortable questions. Not because they're crazy, because patterns exist. Look at Evey. At the beginning, she just wants to survive. She keeps her head down, trusts the system, and avoids trouble. But when she's in prison and stripped of everything, she comes to believe that she no longer has anything left to lose. And that's when she becomes free. That scene wasn't about imprisonment. It was about fear losing its grip. Because fear is the true control mechanism in the film. And once fear fades, authority weakens. Here's the uncomfortable part. Distrust can wake people up, but it can also destabilize everything. The film doesn't show you what happens after the revolution. It ends with the explosion. Because once people stop believing in institutions, you don't get to choose what replaces them. And that's the tension we're living in today. People feel ignored, misinformed, unequal, and powerless. And when that feeling spreads long enough, history shows us what happens. Not always revolution. It's polarization and fragmentation. So here's what V for Vendetta really understood. Societies don't fall apart because people are evil. They fall apart when people stop believing fairness exists. You don't need a villain to destabilize a country. You just need widespread detachment. That's what V was fighting. Not corruption, but apathy. Because the most dangerous moment for any system isn't when people are angry. It's when they stop expecting better. The mask wasn't about rebellion. It was about reminding people power doesn't disappear. It shifts. And when citizens forget they have it, someone else will always come to claim it. So maybe the real question isn't, do we need someone like V? Maybe it's, have we slowly convinced ourselves that accountability is optional? And if we have, what does that say about the direction we're heading? That's why the film lingers. Because deep down, a lot of people aren't looking for chaos. They're looking for proof that fairness still exists. And until they see it, that quiet detachment will keep growing. And history has never ignored that feeling for long.